Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make shrimp cocktail or cóctel de camarones. I'm actually dedicating this video to my little brother and his girlfriend because they love cóctel de camarones, so watch and learn. Alright, this is what you're going to be needing. I use the frozen cooked shrimp already, that way it's easier and faster, quicker to make. It's already peeled, deveined, the tail's still on, but you have to take it off, whatever, it's not that hard. The crab meat, which is the jaiva, shred it up and put it in there also. I actually use 3 bottles of clamato, some tomatoes, jalapenos, cucumbers, avocado, limes, purple onion, and cilantro. And of course, your big bowl. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I like to do is shred up the crab meat, which is the jaiva. It comes in a package like this, but you can get any brand that you want. This is just the one that I always get. And then I start by shredding it up and putting it in the big bowl. Alright, so once you're done shredding up the jaiva, it should look like this. I just wanted to show you how much I used for this recipe, and it looks like it's 24 ounces for this big package. Alright, so the next step is the shrimp. I chose the medium sized shrimp. You can choose small, large, whatever size you want. I always like to get medium. I ended up using 2 bags. The good thing about using the frozen shrimp is that it's already peeled and deveined, but it does still have the tail on. All you got to do is pull it off like this. It's real simple. I'm going to put them in a bowl, and then I'm going to rinse them under water so they're ready to go. Alright, so here's the shrimp already washed and ready to go. I already rinsed them under water. I'm going to be putting it with the crab meat, so then I can start cutting up the vegetables to add to the cóctel de camarones. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to cut is the purple onion. Here I am cutting up the onion, but I'm only going to be using half of the onion. I love using the purple onion. You can use yellow or white onion, but I always like using the purple onion. Alright, I finished cutting up all the onion, and so I'm going to start putting it into this blue bowl. And the next step is cutting the tomatoes. I'm going to be using 4 tomatoes for this recipe. Again, I'm making a large amount of cóctel de camarones just because we were having a party and I wanted to make a lot of cóctel de camarones. I changed the angle of my camera because I wanted to show you how I cut my tomato. I cut off the end part and then I start slicing it, kind of like how I cut the onion. But I just wanted to show you a different view of how I cut my tomatoes, and this is the way I do it. Alright, so I finished cutting all 4 of my tomatoes, and I'm going to be adding them into the onion. The next thing I'm going to be cutting up is the jalapenos. I only used 3 jalapenos for this recipe, but again, you can use more or you can use less. I didn't devein or take the seeds out of the jalapenos just because I wanted it to be a little spicy. I also like to slice up my jalapenos and then dice them up real small so that you don't get real big chunks or pieces of jalapenos, because yep, that might be spicy. Alright, I finished dicing up my jalapenos. I'm going to add them in with the onions and the tomatoes, and the next step is the cucumbers. I only cut up 2 cucumbers. I'm peeling them, and then I'm going to dice them up and add them in the blue bowl as well. finished cutting up my cucumbers and I'm going to add them again into the blue bowl. And I'm almost done cutting up all the vegetables. Now I'm going to put the vegetables that I already cut in with the shrimp and the crab meat. I'm going to stir it all up. Okay, so after you're done stirring in all the vegetables that I just recently cut, I stirred it up and it looks like this, but now I'm going to be adding my limes. I'm going to squeeze 4 limes into this recipe. I'm using my lime squeezer just like this. Alright, the next thing is I kind of forgot to chop up the cilantro and add it in with everything else. So here I am chopping up the cilantro and I'm going to add it into the bowl with everything else. Alright, I cut up the cilantro and I'm going to stir it in with everything else. And the next step now is to add the clamato. Here I have 2 bottles, but I ended up using 3 bottles for this recipe. So I'm just going to pour it in and stir it in. Just like this. Alright, so the last thing is I like to chop up my avocados last. The reason I like to do this is because I don't like to put it in with the vegetables and stir it up because then it gets all mushy. I like to put the clamato in first and then I like to chop up my avocado and stir it in because it won't get mushy. Alright, I chopped up all 3 avocados and I'm going to stir them in carefully into the Coctel de Camarones. That way it does not get mushy. The last thing is I added a little bit of salt and it was ready to go. Alright guys, so this is it. I don't add any ketchup. I know some people do. I just don't like the flavor, but it's up to you if you want to add it. I don't. I just add the clamato and it's ready to go. It really does taste good. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. And again, I want to remind you that this video was dedicated to my brother and his girlfriend. And I hope that they watch it and learn how to make Coctel de Camarones by watching. Thanks!